Denise Cesare is a New Jersey educator and the author of I Love You More Than Chocolate. Great title. With more than 25 years of experience as a speech language pathologist, Denise dedicated her career to supporting children's emotional growth, and now she's sharing that message through storytelling. We say good morning to you, Denise.
Good morning, Ken. So nice to be here with you.
Nice to have you on. Please tell us what inspired you to write the book. It's a great title.
Thank you. And especially during this Valentine's week, we're really right in the thick of all the excitement of chocolate, right? So the inspiration, I'm being an educator for over 25 years. The real inspiration was the birth of my son when he was born. Imagine, I know people say, oh my, but I used to just look at him and say, I just love you more than chocolate. And oh boy, do I love chocolate. So that was the mini inspiration 26 years ago.
Nice, very sweet. And tell us about what it's like as a parent. I am not a parent. I'm an uncle six times over, but not a parent. So tell us about what it is for a parent and how you can show your love for your children 100% every single day. But there are some simple ways to do that. How do we do that?
There's a lot of simple ways, but the most important thing is showing up, being there with them, giving them presence, your presence. I mean, the sweetness of me talking about the book of chocolate, really reading books, being together, making moments and time for each other.
Nice. And that, yes, being present is so important. You could always say, here's $10, go to the movies. That's not love, right? That's responsibility as a parent. But love is, hey, you want to go to the park? Hey, why don't we sit down and talk? How's dinner? Dinner time. Let's sit down and talk about school, right? That's what you want to do as a parent whenever possible. It's hard in this era, but that's more important. And that's something that a child will remember until their last days, right? More than any gift you can give them. And I know you spent more than 2 decades working, as you said, 25 years in education as a speech language pathologist. Having been in broadcasting for all the decades I'm in, I know about a dozen speech pathologists, including my own relatives. I have two. How did that influence your writing, being an educator for that many years?
So it's interesting as an educator, we're with books all the time. Do we really think we're going to be authors? I became a published author during COVID. My original book, Moments in Motion with Love, is all about being present, being mindful. So that did happen during COVID. So fast forward to becoming an author of this book, I was already in the thick of it of knowing how to write a book and how to get it published. So I think that was like a catalyst to make this book come forward as the dream. The other book was purposeful and it was mindful, but this new book, of course, has all educational features in it as well.
I love it. And you've used your role as an author to give back to the community, including visiting a lot of children's hospitals. Tell us about those experiences.
Yeah, so when you do things, you have to give back, and especially for children's in hospitals, the Ryan Seacrest Foundation and Cohen's Children's Hospital. I went to a lot of community events, but what it does is you have to give back, and those children are living in the moment if they're in the hospital. And I believe that any message of love, self love, loving each other, and loving our planet is so vital right now.
Yeah, I worked with Ryan Seacrest for years when I was at Channel 7, and he was on Live with Kelly and Ryan back in those days. And I can tell
Mhm.
you, I publicly testify, as nice a person as he looks like on TV, that doesn't even describe the half of it. He's 100 times nicer than that in person. And you could just tell by the fact that he took his very well hard-earned money and started the Ryan Seacrest Foundation to help children in those hospitals and builds little radio stations there and everything. It's amazing. So I'm glad you mentioned that. What are some, do you have any specific stories from some of the hospitals that you could share?
So one in particular, when we went and so, it's fragile because they are very, ill, the children, but some of them are allowed to come down to the studio and sit with you. But what really got me is that they are so present and they are so receptive. So my role there was to lift them up, but they lifted me up more than I could have lifted up them.
Isn't that something? Isn't that something? And kids always, just when you think they can't, they always do or say something that changes your whole day, or if not your whole life at that moment. Hey, what's a website so we could find out more about your previous book, your current book, or just more information about you?
So, of course, it's my name, DeniseCesare.com, but it's Caesar with an E because I'm Italian, the Cesare, right? So it's Denise
That's why
Caesar.
I asked our producer, or I said, is it Cesare? Because io parlo italiano. I'm like, it has to be
Yeah,
Cesare,
why not?
but
Oh,
it's Caesar.
it's Cesare, but really, it's Caesar because when you get married, you marry that name, right?
There you go.
But as a
Absolutely.
speech
Yeah, you brought the
pathologist,
simple Italian in before.
as a speech
New
pathologist, I had to say it right.
I love it. Hey, New Jersey educator, author of I Love You More Than Chocolate, Denise Cesare, Cesare. Check her out online. Denise, thank you for coming on this morning. Have a great day.
And have a great day, a sweet day.
You too. Happy Valentine's Day.